Oh ho ho, the Buccaneers broke a 4-game losing streak, albeit to a bad Titans team, but a win is a win, gets us back on track, I guess. But the Buccaneers did play a much better game. There were still some issues offensively. However, you can't complain. We did win. But before I get into my reaction, if you are new here, I am Rami B. Make sure you click the subscribe button down below. I post weekly Buccaneer reaction videos. All right, so let's get into it. The Buccaneers won a game against the Titans at home with a score of 20-6. Now, this is a game where I feel the Buccaneers should have easily put up over 30 points, and there was definitely opportunities for that, but the offense keeps biting themselves in the foot and has continued to struggle in the red zone still. The Buccaneers have 340 yards of total offense, 263 passing, 77 rushing, while the Titans only had 209 total yards, 167 passing, and 42 rushing. Baker Mayfield had 18 completions out of 29 attempts for 2 touchdowns and a pick. Baker played a solid game overall. There were some missed passes and things like that, but overall, you can't complain when you do win. Again, I said we should have scored over 30 points. There was definitely opportunities to score more points, especially getting inside the red zone. The run game was not that great. Rachaad White, 20 carries for 51 yards, 2 yards a carry, 2.2, I think, something like that. Receiving end, though, is where I think things could have opened up a little bit better. Mike Evans had 6 catches for 143 yards and a touchdown. Should have been 2 touchdowns. He dropped a very easy one, and I think that is what is frustrating about Evans, but I'm never going to complain. I'm on the Mike Evans bandwagon, Mike Evans club, but he does tend to drop a lot of easier passes. There was one that hit him right in the chest at the end zone. Maybe it was like right here in the neck face area, but he should have caught it, dropped it. It seems like anytime he is wide open and the ball comes to him, he tends to drop it. But then prior to that pass, he made a crazy underthrown deep ball where he kind of adjusted at the last second. Again, I'm never going to complain about that. And then his 1 touchdown was beautiful. I think he caught it at around the 5 or 6 yard line, immediately met by a defender and then a second defender. And he just muscled his way and dragged them into the end zone, which we've seen him do in the past in different occasions. The one that comes to mind is 2020 against the Rams. He got hit 2-3 players, I think Jalen Ramsey and a couple other players, and he was just fighting and ended up getting into the end zone. So can't complain. He has the heart there. I think when he plays mad, when he gets a stupid drop, he plays very angry, and then it turns into a whole different player. I think now he's over almost 700 yards on the season, so the streak to hit 1,000 yards is very close, and he should be able to hit it. Outside of Evans, nobody really dominated. Chris Godwin, 4 for 54. Rachaad White, 2 for 47 and a touchdown. And I think his touchdown was for 30-some plus yards, almost 40 yards, I think. And he scored a touchdown. Nobody else had over 30 yards. Trey Palmer did get a couple catches, and I think he only had 21 yards. So overall, the offense was moving the ball, but again, we'd get stopped inside the red zone, albeit, a bad play call, bad play design, whether we're running the ball. There's a bunch of reasons why, but we definitely should have scored over 30 points easily. But I'm not going to harp on it. We won. Defensively, though, we played probably one of our more dominant performances of the season. We held them to only 6 points, 2 field goals. Antoine Winfield got his first pick of the season. I think it was Cansey hit Will Levis while he was throwing the ball, and he just kind of arm punted it. Antoine Winfield got it. That is the first pick by our starting defensive back. So between Jamel Dean, Carlton Davis, Ryan Neal, and Antoine Winfield, the first pick between all of them, which is crazy to think about. Izzian got 2, and D. Delaney got 2, but they're considered backups. The D-line and the front 7 was playing very well. Devin White, Shaq Barrett, Yaya Diaby, and Vita Vea each had a sack each. Cansey was causing a lot of pressure. The defensive line really held. Will Levis wasn't comfortable at all. I think he was hurried on almost half of his dropbacks, probably a little more than half. And then their run game couldn't get going either. That D-line was playing very hungry. Levante David, I think, now broke over 1,000 individual tackles in the career. And I think he has probably now the most tackles for loss currently in the NFL, I want to say. After today, he had a couple of them, which would put him top 10, and he'd be the only player in the top 10 that is not a defensive lineman, which is insane, which again should further his Hall of Fame case, but we'll see when it gets to that point, which I think, he's fully deserving of it. He has all the numbers. But let's talk about the Titans offense. Will Levis, 19-29 for 199 yards and a pick. He was not comfortable all game, was unable to really complete a lot of passes. Outside of their first field goal in the beginning of the game, they really did nothing offensively till the fourth quarter when they got their second field goal. Derrick Henry only averaged like 2.2 yards a carry. He had 11 carries for 24 yards, was I think his longest yard rush was probably 3 or 4 yards. And I'm glad that we were able to really focus on the run defense, because you knew that their plan was to run the ball, especially with Will Levis. I think it's his first or second start. Definitely needed the run defense to come through, so to force them to be one-dimensional. And obviously Bulls played very differently than last week against the Texans with a lot of pressures. On the receiving end, Kyle Phillips, 3 for 61. Tajay Spears, 4 for 42. Nobody else had over 30 yards. Even DeAndre Hopkins had 3 for 27. DeAndre Hopkins did have a couple other opportunities, but definitely there was so many offensive pass interferences that he didn't get called for. Luckily, he never caught it, but yeah, they couldn't get anything going. So defensively, a full dominant performance on our end. Can't complain really about anything on that end. Maybe the only thing I can complain about is the dropped picks. There was definitely, I want to say 3 or 4 for sure picks that were dropped. Levante had one where he jumped and it hit him kind of right here. There was a couple other ones that our corners caught, especially at the end of the game. There was one, I think it was D. Delaney maybe. Ball went right to him and he jumped up. He didn't go for the ball, he kind of waited for it, and then the receiver ended up running into him. But there was definitely opportunities for more picks. Can't really complain. Sorry, this video is going to be briefer because, you know, we played overall very well. There isn't as much to complain. Next week's game is against San Francisco at San Fran. They did lose 3 in a row, but it looks like they dominated the Jags today. It's going to be a hard-fought game. I think we are going to get destroyed over there. Todd Bowles has proven he doesn't really have answers for Kyle Shanahan offenses, so it's going to be a tough game, and I think for us to win, we're going to have to score over 30 points for sure, but against their defense, I don't know if we'll be able to, and especially if we go down early, if we're down 7-0, 14-0, I think the game is a wrap, just like last year, so we'll see. The Saints did end up losing to the Vikings with Joshua Dobbs. They lost 27-19, I want to say, so they are 5-5 right now. The Falcons are currently playing the Cardinals. I think last time I checked, they were down 3-0. If they win, they will be 5-5. If they lose, they'll be 4-6. We are 4-5. So best case scenario, if the Falcons lose, we will be in second place because they will be 4-6. They'll have more losses than us, and if they win, we'll stay in third place. I don't know I think the Panthers did lose on Thursday night. They're definitely out of the playoff race, and although they're only 3 losses behind us, you know, statistically they could still surpass us, but I don't think they will. But overall, yeah, we are 4-5. Facing the 49ers next week is going to be tough. But yeah, Bucs Nation, comment down below what you think. Was this an impressive win, and what do you feel about next week? Definitely let me know, because we're still in the race, especially with the Saints losing, and if the Falcons win, we'll only be a game behind. So yeah, we're still definitely in it, but we'll see next week. Next week could change our opinions. But anyways, yeah, thank you for tuning in, and as always, I am out.
Let's go! You a Buccaneer fan? Let me know. Let me know. We about to win this thing at home. Let's go! Buccaneers.